It has almost been 2 months since Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake dropped. What a name. And I've only been playing it since about 2 weeks ago, I think. Maybe not even, because I was kind of stuck playing something else until 2 weeks ago, actually. Mario and Luigi Brothership. There's another review coming for that game, like, probably somewhere next week. That one's gonna be pretty... but I don't know, that game is something else. But yeah, in today's video, I would like to review this game, or at least the first part of my review. I'm gonna try and do this in 2 parts. But yeah, for the games like Dragon Quest III here, for example, that I just like to play on my own time, can't really do a playthrough of it, or I just don't really want to do a playthrough of that game, because I'm a dude that does love some grinding. And most of the time, I spend so many hours just in the early game. Like right now, I only have access to the ship. I barely got access to the ship in the game, if you know where that is. And I'm almost 20 hours in. So pretty crazy, probably. I think most people beat this game in about maybe 15 hours. I think that's doable. So yeah, I'm just a dude that loves grinding when he's able to. I love to look up information for stuff. I probably spent 10 hours just looking stuff up and watching videos about this game. But yeah, I just want to do a quick little review. Hopefully this is not going to take longer than actually 5 minutes. So let's talk about my experiences with the game so far. And I'm already going to give it a score, because I do think I can already rate this game. I don't even need to play through the rest of it. Of course I will do so, which is why there's going to be a second part when I'm finally done with this. But I feel like I already have enough knowledge about the game to give it a proper rating. So let's get right into it. So as I said before, I'm barely just done with what most people I think would see as the early game. But there's something interesting about this early game, and that is that there's kind of, at least for me, an early game to the early game. I don't really know how to explain it, and it's probably just me, but since the very beginning of the game, you can have a full party of 4. And that's where everything went wrong with me, which, if you didn't know, this is like 5 minutes into the game, I'd say. Right after you're done with the intro of the story, like the game kind of telling you what the story is going to be about, before you even leave town the first time, you can have a full party of 4, and the game even recommends you doing so. It is kind of... you're kind of meant to get a full party from the very beginning, which is very fun. You can already plan ahead for the whole entire game if you know what you're doing, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's kind of overwhelming, at least it was for me. So in this game, you can have a ton of different jobs, and these range from a mage who does like spells that do damage, a priest that can use spells that heal you, of course, a warrior who just attacks physically, a thief who's pretty much just used to get access to utility moves, which utility moves are basically things like gems or something in Pokemon. Actually, not really. They're basically things like Sweet Scent in Pokemon, like, you know, those kind of abilities that you can use to help you out in the game but aren't necessary to beat it. Those are the kind of utility moves I'm talking about. Like, for example, the thief has access to Padfoot, which is an ability that greatly reduces the enemy encounters that you come across. And I'll talk a bit more about the random encounters later on after I'm done talking about the classes. So yeah, there's a ton of different classes in the game, and I wanted to know which ones I wanted to pick from the beginning, because I knew, of course, I was looking up stuff, and I knew that you were kind of stuck with these until you reached level 20 and got access to All Trades Abbey, which is a location where you can switch classes at. But it is pretty far into the game. I'd say like 2 to 3 hours in, maybe. So you are stuck with those first 3 classes that you take for a pretty big amount of time. And me, I'm just an eternal overthinker. I can't make decisions. Really, I want to make the right decisions, and I want to be sure that it is the right decision, even though it really doesn't matter that much, and I probably would have had more fun if I just went along with the game, didn't bother about it so much, because as I would find out later, once you hit that section in All Trades Abbey, and you can actually switch classes, you also get access to a place where you can grind easily at, making it so I could level up my thief to the level where he learned Padfoot, which this is maybe a good time to talk about the random encounters, because those were the most horrible thing in the game, even worse than me just overthinking, not really knowing what classes to pick. I ended up just picking a thief, a merchant, and a monster wrangler, and I was fine. Like, you're fine. It really doesn't matter all that much what classes that you pick. You just want to make sure that you get to that All Trades Abbey section where the whole game basically opens up. At least it did for me. It really just opens up when you get access to the ship, and after that, like a bird apparently, but for me it opened up at All Trades Abbey, okay? So yeah, anyways, random encounters, they were the most horrible thing in the game to me until I got access to that Padfoot ability, because you literally can't go 5 seconds, I think, without running into a monster. It is horrible. It's absolutely deplorable, atrocious, ferocious. I got so upset about the random encounters. I really wasn't enjoying the game, especially because the game is actually quite difficult, at least it was for me, because I didn't have someone in my party who could heal me up consistently, except for the hero actually, who does not have a lot of MP, which is necessary to cast healing spells. I kind of couldn't really live that many random encounters, and that doesn't help when you get at least, I don't know, like an encounter every 5 seconds, literally. So I really wasn't having the best time in the beginning, but everything, literally everything got solved when I got to the Altra's Abbey section. I got access to an easy grinding spot, got access to an ability that helped me get rid of most of the enemy encounters. Like right now when you use pet food, you still sometimes get a random enemy encounter, of course, but it is so much better. It actually feels welcome whenever you get an enemy encounter, because it's like, oh cool, okay, I get into like a battle again, that's fine. I'll just quickly get rid of these monsters, get some experience, get some gold, and I'll be on my way again. Like, it feels like a nice break now whenever you hit an enemy encounter, which feels so strange to say after that literally horrible early game. So yeah, general feeling about the game, I kind of want to get to the point already. For me personally, I was very frustrated with the game. As I said, the random encounters, they were not fun, they were way too frequent. I did not like those class things. I was just worrying way too much for no reason. But right now, I don't really care how annoying the early game is, because I can acknowledge that that's not really the way you're supposed to play the game. You're supposed to play the game, just go through it with whatever characters you want, get to a certain point in the game where you can reclass, and then you're like, oh, okay, I can actually change into whatever I want. Oh, okay, I can actually like level up my characters really quickly. I can kind of maybe mess around even more than I thought. You're kind of meant to play the game more like that, just not really worrying and figuring out stuff along the way. And I think the game does a really good job at actually letting you figure out that stuff on your own. So I can acknowledge that I was just kind of playing the game maybe in the wrong way. I was worrying way too much. So I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10 already. For sure, a 9 out of 10. From even the small amount of time that I've spent having access to the Altra's Abbey section, having access to that grinding spot, I've been grinding. I love it so much. I love reclassing. I mean, I loved reclassing the characters that I had once I did one into a Sage. I already did one into a Gadabout, and after that into a Sage as well. This is for the people that, of course, know what these classes are. But I've been having a blast since getting to the Altra's Abbey section, and I can definitely see that this game only gets more fun the longer you play. The longer you keep playing, the more access you get to better grinding spots, the more access you get to movement options. Like right now I have a ship, I can explore a whole new part of the world. After this you apparently get a bird, which after that you just have access to every single thing on the overworld. That's gonna be so cool. So even just from that small amount of time having access to all of these things, I can tell this is gonna be so much fun to play. I also think the game looks really good. I love the HD 2D art style. I also love how it plays on the Switch. It is not laggy at all. I think I maybe noticed 2 frame drops over almost 20 hours, meaning like there was maybe 10 milliseconds of a little delay on something, or like the screen just kind of not even froze, but just lagged slightly twice, I think. And for the rest, it just looks amazing really on the Switch. So yeah, big 9 out of 10 for this one. The only reason I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is because I haven't completed the game, obviously. I know I said I thought I had enough knowledge to rate this game appropriately, but I just can't comfortably give it a 10 out of 10 already. A 9 out of 10 is pretty much a 10 out of 10 for the point where I'm at, you know? So yeah, anyways, I hope this wacky, all over the place review was somewhat fun or useful for you to watch. If you like the Dragon Quest games, you're definitely gonna like this one. If you like Final Fantasy games, you're probably gonna like this as well. It's just a good game. I don't know what to say. It's an awesome game. I can already tell it's only gonna get more fun from here on out for me. So if you love grinding, if you love exploring a really big overworld, if you love experimenting with your characters and kind of like skills that you can combine and use, this game is definitely for you. All right, anyways, with that, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see more stuff just like this, definitely don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Not even 2% of the people watching are subscribed to my videos, so I would really appreciate it if you would consider doing so. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, later. Bye.